This video is going to be all about how to spice up your sex life. And I want to start by saying that in every relationship, we go through different seasons. So we go through seasons where everything is really hot and steamy and passionate. And then we also go through seasons where maybe things kind of dull down. It might be because kids came into the picture, or because we have a lot of big responsibilities with work, or because a really big life event took place. And I think it's important that we normalize that we normalize the fact that we're cyclical beings, and that in the span of a lifetime, it's very normal that we're going to go through different seasons, also in our sexual expression and our sexual connection with our partner. Now, with that being said, if you've noticed that you've been kind of in a prolonged season where you feel like your sex life with your partner is becoming more and more dull, or maybe even non-existent, in this video, I want to share with you some conscious ways that you can increase the passion in your relationship and add a little bit more spice to your sex life. So before we dive in, please make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. This really helps me as a creator to keep on creating more free videos like this for you. And with that being said, let's dive right into the video. So my number one tip and piece of advice I can give you if you want to spice up your sex life is to switch up your routine. Sexual desire needs a sense of mystery and spontaneity. That's why oftentimes when we reflect on the beginning of our intimate relationships, it's usually when we had the hottest sex. And part of the reason for that is because there was still a lot of mystery and spontaneity. We didn't know the other person so well yet, and every time we had a sexual encounter, it's like there was this sense of we don't know what's next. There was this sense of limitless possibilities. You were still exploring each other's body. There was still an element of surprise. And then what can happen with time in your intimate relationship is that you kind of get stuck in a routine. So with time, there's not as much spontaneity anymore, there's not as much variety anymore, and we get stuck in a routine. We make sex in the same location, the same positions, the same sequence, and we kind of repeat that over and over and over again. Now, that's not all bad, because obviously the reason most of us get into a routine with our partner is that with time, we also get to know each other better. We know what our partner likes, we know what we like, and then we kind of build a routine following the positions we like, the kind of foreplay that we like, and we just do it over and over again. So there is a good element to that usually our routine is based on things that most of us like. But with that being said, when we only do that time and time again, what can start to happen is that our sex life can start to feel dull and our sexual desire can start to go down. One of the reasons for that is that oftentimes when we're having sex in this kind of routine way is when we're starting to have sex with our partner, we already know what the next step is going to be and where it's going to end. And it's hard to stay excited about something when we already know exactly how it's going to play out and there's no sense of mystery or surprise or spontaneity. So that's why I always tell couples, make a conscious effort to switch up your routine from time to time. That doesn't mean that every single time you have sex, you need to like reinvent the wheel and think of like really unique things. But once in a while, do something that's kind of like a pattern interrupt, something unexpected, something that keeps things very interesting and fresh. Now, there's some easy ways that you can do that. And in this video, I'm going to share my 4 favorite ways that you can switch up the routine and keep that sense of mystery and excitement in your sex life. So the first one is to have sex in a different location than you usually do. Now, if you're very adventurous, that may be outside of your house, but if that feels too much, just a different room inside of your home. So most couples have a specific place, usually it's the bedroom, where they always have sex. So one of the easiest ways to switch up routine is to have sex in a different room in your house. Have sex in the kitchen, have sex in the living room, have sex in the guest room, have sex in the shower. Just switching up the location can already spice things up quite a bit, because oftentimes if you're in a new location, let's say you're having sex in the kitchen, you'll probably try new positions because the environment maybe makes some positions possible that weren't possible in your bedroom. So this is a very easy way to switch up the routine. Just try once in a while to have sex in a different location. Now, my second tip is to initiate sex in a different way. So most of us have a certain way over time with our partner that we initiate sex. It might be kind of like, after we come home, we have dinner, maybe you watch some Netflix, and then maybe there's like kind of like a little ritual that you have that signifies that you're in the mood and that gets you to make love. If you have that little routine, that specific way that you always revert to initiate sex, try switching it up. So maybe instead of doing that, text your partner in the middle of the day telling them that you're thinking about them and you can't wait for them to come home and do XYZ to them. Or maybe if you always initiate sex at night, try to initiate in the morning when your partner's completely not expecting it. Like when he or she's having his morning coffee, just come up behind them and initiate sex in the morning. Again, all of these little things will surprise your partner and bring a new sense of excitement to your sex life. Now, this is especially important if you never initiate sex. Oftentimes in long-term relationships, one person is the one that's always initiating. And if in your dynamic that is your partner, take conscious effort from time to time for you to be the person to initiate. Because if you put yourself in your partner's position, right, it can feel a little bit one-sided if you constantly feel like if you're not the one to initiate it, then it's never going to happen. So especially if you notice that you usually just wait for your partner to initiate, take charge and you be the one to initiate sex with your partner in a unique way. Now, my third tip is to wear something new. So buy a new set of lingerie, or if you're into role play, buy a sexy costume and surprise your partner with it. Again, I notice a lot in long-term relationships, it's kind of like in the beginning of the relationship, we do a lot of things to keep things spicy and to keep that element of seduction alive. And then with time, we can kind of get complacent and we can kind of stop putting in effort. So from time to time, surprise your partner, wear something new. Maybe you want to like put on a robe, and then when they come home, you can slowly reveal what you're wearing underneath. And again, just like creating these little moments of surprise. If this is not something you usually do and your partner comes home and all of a sudden he sees you in this like stunning lingerie sex or this really sexy role play costume, it's gonna shift the atmosphere and it's gonna keep that sense of passion alive. And my fourth tip is to try new things and to learn new techniques. Sexuality is an art, it's a skill, and there's so many things that we can learn, and we can keep on expanding our sexual repertoire. So instead of just kind of, repeating the same things again and again and again, really keep on expanding, keep on trying new things together. And you might try something and it doesn't work, that's fine, but even just the act of trying will keep that sense of sexual passion alive. And if you're not sure where to start, you can start in my YouTube channel. I have tons of videos about female orgasms and different types of techniques that you could even watch with your partner together and then practice on each other. It's fun. Maybe it will open up a whole new way of expressing yourself in your sexuality. The point here is just to stay open, to stay curious, and to try new things together with your partner. All right, so those are my 4 tips for how you can switch up your routine and keep things exciting and fresh in your sex life. I do want to emphasize that it's not about doing something new every single time, because in that way it can start to become stressful, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do now to keep things exciting? It's just a few things that you do from time to time in your relationship to keep things fresh. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.